Byron Scott has finally broken his silence, and what he admitted has everyone talking. After years of staying quiet, he's now come forward about the serious sexual assault accusations that have followed him. And yes, he admitted to it. He tried to explain himself, giving reasons for what happened. But let's be real, no excuse can ever justify something like that. The truth is out, and it's dark. All right, let's take a step back and walk through this whole situation from the beginning, especially for those who may not know the full story. After staying silent for more than 3 decades, a woman named Haley Dillon has come forward with a powerful and disturbing accusation against former NBA star Byron Scott. Her claim that when she was just 15 years old, Scott sexually assaulted her. It all goes back to the summer of 1987. At the time, Byron Scott was 26 years old, a rising star with the Los Angeles Lakers, and married to his first wife, Anita Scott. He wasn't just an athlete, he was a public figure, admired by many. That summer, Scott was filming an instructional basketball video at Campbell Hall, a private school in California. Dillon, still a teenager at the time, was helping out on the set. According to her, what started as a normal day took a terrifying turn. She says that Scott approached her during the shoot, separated her from the rest of the group, and led her into a janitor's closet. Once inside, she says he locked the door, and that's when everything changed. Dillon claims that Scott forced himself on her. In the legal complaint, she says he pushed her to her knees, removed her shirt against her will, and tried to force her to perform oral sex. It's a deeply upsetting account, one that she says has haunted her for years. But it didn't stop there. After the alleged assault, Dillon says Scott handed her Lakers merchandise, jerseys and team gear, and pressured her not to speak about what had happened. She stayed silent for decades, trying to carry the weight of that day alone. Now, after 35 years, she's decided to speak her truth. And in response, Byron Scott has finally addressed the accusation. Scott has admitted that something sexual did happen between him and Dillon, but he insists that he believes she was 18 at the time. His attorney released a statement saying that Scott has always respected women and that he was completely blindsided by the accusation when it resurfaced so many years later. But many people are struggling to accept that explanation. After all, Dillon was only 15. A child. Scott was not only an adult, but a married man in his mid-20s, already well-known and in a position of power. That huge difference in age, maturity, and influence makes the situation even more troubling. But is that the whole story when it comes to Byron Scott? Not at all. While that disturbing chapter can't be ignored, it's also important to remember that he had a remarkable career on the court. So now that we've addressed the serious allegations, maybe it's time to turn the page and take a look at the brighter side, his accomplishments and the impact he made in the basketball world. It all started in 1983 when the San Diego Clippers selected him 4th overall in the NBA draft. But Scott never played a game for them. He was traded to the Los Angeles Lakers in exchange for veteran guard Norm Nixon. That move would change his life. Landing in LA during the heart of the Showtime era, Scott stepped into a team packed with stars: Magic Johnson, James Worthy, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and AC Green. Scott didn't just blend in, he thrived. As a rookie, he averaged 10.6 points in 22 minutes per game and earned a spot on the All-Rookie team. The next season, he led the league in three-point percentage. But his true breakout came in the 1987-88 season, when he averaged a career-high 21.7 points per game and led the Lakers in both scoring and steals. That season ended with his 3rd championship ring, after titles in 1985 and 1987. Scott stayed with the Lakers for 10 straight seasons. He was their starting shooting guard for most of that run, known for his smooth shot and fast break finishes. But after the 1992-93 season, the Lakers let him go, and Scott signed with the Indiana Pacers. In Indiana, he proved he still had clutch in him. In Game 1 of the Pacers playoff series against Orlando, he drained the game-winning 3 with just 2.4 seconds left. Indiana swept that series and went on to reach the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in franchise history. But change came again. In 1995, Scott was left unprotected in the expansion draft and picked up by the brand-new Vancouver Grizzlies. He played just 1 season there before returning to the Lakers for a final run in the 1996-97 season. That year, he served as a veteran leader on a young team led by Shaquille O'Neal, Nick Van Exel, Eddie Jones, and an 18-year-old rookie named Kobe Bryant. The Lakers made the playoffs, and Game 4 of their second-round series against Utah would be Scott's last NBA game. He played 15 minutes, scoring 4 points and dishing out 5 assists. He didn't play in Game 5, and the Lakers were eliminated. Instead of retiring, Scott took one final shot overseas. In 1997-98, he joined Panathinaikos in Greece. He played well, averaging 17.6 points per game in league play and 13.4 points in the Saporta Cup, helping his team win the Greek championship. After that season, he finally hung up his sneakers, for good this time, and started his coaching career. Scott began coaching in 1998 as an assistant with the Sacramento Kings under Rick Adelman. He helped break down offensive plays and focused on perimeter work. 2 years later, in 2000, he got his first head coaching job with the New Jersey Nets. The Nets had been stuck in a cycle of losing, but things changed fast. After a rough first season, they traded for Jason Kidd, and everything clicked. In 2001-2, Scott led the Nets to a franchise-best 52 wins and their first division title. The playoffs were thrilling. They barely survived Indiana in the first round, then took down Charlotte and Boston to reach the NBA Finals for the first time. But they ran into the juggernaut Lakers, led by Shaq and Kobe, who swept the Nets to win their third straight title. Still, Scott had helped turn the team around. The next season, despite some injuries, the Nets won 49 games and returned to the finals. This time, they faced the San Antonio Spurs. The series was tight, tied 2-2 after 4 games. But Tim Duncan's dominance in Game 6 sealed the title for the Spurs. Duncan was nearly unstoppable, finishing with a near quadruple-double, and New Jersey's offense just couldn't keep up. Behind the scenes, though, things were getting tense. Rumors began swirling that Jason Kidd didn't want to re-sign with the team unless Scott was replaced. Though both denied it, and Scott said he was shocked, the whispers never stopped. In the 2003-4 season, with the team sitting at 22-20 and still leading their division, Scott was fired. His assistant, Lawrence Frank, took over. From there, Scott moved on to the New Orleans Hornets. He took the job in 2004, and in 2005, the team drafted a young point guard named Chris Paul. The early years were rocky, especially as the team had to relocate temporarily to Oklahoma City due to Hurricane Katrina. But by the 2007-8 season, everything came together. The Hornets won 56 games that year, the best record in franchise history, and Scott was named NBA Coach of the Year. They knocked off Dallas in the first round of the playoffs and pushed San Antonio to 7 games in the second round. After the Hornets' strong 2007-8 season, expectations were sky high. But things didn't stay on that level. Injuries, chemistry issues, and playoff disappointments followed. In 2009, the Hornets got blown out in a historic 58-point loss to the Denver Nuggets during the playoffs. By the start of the 2009-10 season, a slow start cost Scott his job. He was fired just 9 games in, despite having won Coach of the Year only 18 months earlier. Scott took some time away from coaching, but he wasn't out for long. In 2010, he was hired by the Cleveland Cavaliers, the same summer that LeBron James left for Miami. Scott walked into a tough situation. The team that had been built around LeBron suddenly had no superstar, no identity, and not many wins. Cleveland lost a record-setting 26 straight games in Scott's first season, the longest single-season losing streak in NBA history at the time. After the Cavs drafted Kyrie Irving in 2011, Scott helped develop the young star, but the team kept losing and let him go in 2013. In 2014, he returned to the Lakers, his old team, but this version was far from Showtime. Kobe Bryant was nearing retirement, and the roster lacked direction. The Lakers hit franchise-low records with Scott at the helm, going 21-61 and then 17-65. Still, he was part of a historic moment, Kobe's final game in 2016, where the legend dropped 60 points. Shortly after, Scott was let go, ending his coaching career with 454 wins and 647 losses. Despite the numbers, his influence stretched far, mentoring stars like Chris Paul, Kyrie Irving, and guiding Kobe's final chapter. Today, he stays close to the game through media work and mentoring, leaving a lasting legacy of leadership. That's a wrap for today's video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time. See you then.